Morning Sports Hour on News Talk 1440 WROK.
Good morning, everybody. Dave Schmidt along with Matt Nestor, and Dave Schmidt on the board today. So if things are going bad, you can blame me. One of those deals today. Good to have you along, and we're going to go to our fourth and final coach of the day. We're going to go back to the Big Northern Conference. And right now we have with us on the air our good friend from Rockford Lutheran, Coach Bruce Bazsali. And how's it going, Coach?
I think we might still have him on hold there.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. Let's talk a little bit about Rockford Lutheran football. You guys are still over there, and you guys are the defending champions. Tell us about how you got prepared and started this year for the upcoming season.
Well, I mean, we start right away in January. Our kids sort of left after the season on their own. You know, we don't really push them into anything. And then when we get to January, then we start going into our own program. And so they've been lifting and working out since January. And then, of course, we've got a pretty intense summer program, and it's been going real good.
Now, Coach, I know that you at least had to investigate, seeing if you could change James Robinson's name and get him in a different jersey. But, how exciting is it going to be for players like Peyton Womack and some of the other guys coming back to maybe get their opportunity to lead the program?
Well, I think they're real excited. Their big goal this year is to prove that no one player is greater than the team. And although they love James and appreciate everything they did, they felt like they could, people sort of saw them short. That people talk about, oh, you've lost James Robinson, you guys won't win without him. And, it was all your one-man show and all that kind of stuff. And people forget we won 5 games last year without James. And so, they were all by a running clock, by the way. So, I mean, it wasn't all James. James was a great deal part of it and part of a mystique kind of that was created. But our guys want to keep that mystique going, that we're a team and we play as one, and that you're only as strong as your team, not one guy.
Talking about one guy, I did mention Peyton Womack there. What do you expect from him coming back this year?
Oh, well, his expectations are really high. He had just a super year, way far exceeded my expectations. I thought, it was gonna be a rough for him, but he picked it up so fast. I think it was just because he was thrust into a situation right after our first summer 7-on-7 game. Nick's leg was still bad, and we didn't realize it was that bad. And we knew he was going to the doctor and knew he probably was going to be out for a while. And I remember looking at Womack. We were down at St. Ed's, and I said, hey, you better be ready to go. You got a lot of work to do this summer. And he took to that challenge it was just amazing what he did. I was so proud of that kid. He did a great job, I think, all year long.
How important is it to have a quarterback that you really trust out there to make those decisions? And you could tell last year when James went out, he really picked up some confidence and kind of took over that leadership role a little bit.
Oh, he would. I think he liked it a lot. And I think, he's got all the tools to be a great quarterback. I mean, he's gotten bigger now. He's about 5'9". Consider that, for me, that's big. But he's a lot stronger than what he was, and he was very fast. He could read well, and he could run and throw, and he did everything that we want in a quarterback in our offense. He really just did an amazing job, because Nick was a great quarterback, we thought, coming back. And Peyton just won the job after that, and he still has it.
On the defensive side of the ball, what's been your focus, I guess, in this offseason? You guys have been really close to, breaking through at a big-time level, at the state level there. What are you guys focusing on the defensive end to maybe help, maybe get to another level?
Well, we've got coordinator Mike Mullaney back, and since he's come, I mean, it's actually helped our offense a lot too, because we get the ball back more. And our defense has been really strong, I feel, the last 2 years. He wasn't happy with the way Dudley coached in the last game against Marengo, but I think there's a lot of circumstances in there why we lost that game, and I don't think our defense really was really at fault as to what happened there. But we've got several players coming back, quite a few actually on defense. We felt that defense is probably going to be our strong suit this year, and so when we do our rotations of people, we're gonna focus more on stopping people, maybe not spend as much time trying to score, but again, that's hard for us because we sort of have this mindset that we want to score every time we have the ball. So defensively, we're not going to do too much different than we've been doing. We've got two great inside linebackers coming back. With Brigham is going to be an inside linebacker now. And he's 6'2", 220, 225. And John Anderson, who is Matt's brother, Matt was an all-state middle linebacker. John was our starting outside linebacker. John is 6 foot and 220 also. So, I mean, we got two good inside guys. And we'll be very strong up the middle again this year. And just looking forward to seeing what our kids can do.
Special teams, what we see at Rockford Lutheran, sometimes you really didn't have to count on them, but sometimes you really do. Can you tell us about them?
We felt like we've always had pretty good special teams. It just sort of is like the third phase, it seems like, to people. But we've got excellent kids returning the punts and kickoffs. We got the same thing this year. We've got still a lot of speed, and we got John Anderson back as our kickoff man, and he was pretty much putting it in the end zone almost every time he kicked it last year. So that's a nice weapon to have coming back. And what's nice too is Peyton was our backup kicker last year to Matt Anderson, and this year he'll be our main punter. So having a quarterback back there that can punt opens up a lot of possibilities for us to be deceptive in our special teams.
How's the overall depth of the team looking? I know the last couple of years it seems like, going into the playoffs, you've had, a key injury or two, which obviously, being a smaller program that's playing up can be tough. How are the numbers looking in some of the depth at some of the positions this year?
That's always been our biggest problem. We get, it's a tough schedule that we play, and then as you go along in the playoffs in 4A, it seems like the schools just get bigger and more physical, and we seem to be losing guys to attrition, and next thing you know, we get a major injury and we're in trouble. You're right. It's really hurt us the last few years, and it's going to be a problem again. If there was one thing I wish I had, it isn't better players, because I love the kids that we got. I just wish we had more of them. And again, I think that'll be a problem for us. We've probably got the least kids out that we've had in the last number of years. We've usually been up to 50 kids at least, and we're at about 45 right now. Usually, though, we do pick up some kids during at the beginning of the school year. So hopefully that'll happen, and we'll just see how it all pans out. We got about 45, but the nice thing is this summer we've had least amount of kids out, but we've had more kids participate in the summer than what we've had before. So that was real good. Whereas we had maybe 50 kids and we had 35 coming all summer consistently, we had 45 kids and about 41 kids there all summer. So that part was real good. We could get a lot done with the kids that are coming back.
Last couple of years, you guys have fallen just short of reaching that ultimate goal of state, losing to some top teams. When you talk about Phillips and Marengo last year, what's going to be the key to maybe take that next step?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're right there. I feel like both those games that we lost to one we lost to Phillips by 1, and the Marengo loss, I felt like we should have won those games. We had a big injury to our center. Yep. Caused a lot of havoc, and not blaming the kids that backed up. They just weren't as good as the kid that we had, and we had snaps going over the head, and James was tired. He hadn't practiced for 5 weeks, and there's just a lot of circumstances that everything that could go wrong has. One of these years, I think, I when I was a prospect and we won some state championships, I used to kid Brent Perlman and say, you got to have some luck with this. And he goes, no, Bazsali, it's all about preparation. And I still think there is a luck factor in the sense that you have to have everything go right, because in those years where we won there, everything did go right. We didn't have injuries. Kids made plays. It just, there's just some intrinsic things that happen that you can't put your finger on, but I feel like we're there, and I think we're still going to be there. I still will consider us one of the top teams in the state. I think in 4A, and I think we'll compete real well. I think it's just everything has to just fall into place. You can't have those injuries, and we do everything we can. We talked to a set of coaches meeting the other night about really trying to up our conditioning. We have a great trainer at our school now, Jamie Fawcett, who's been working with our kids. He did his internship at Wisconsin, and he's an ex-Marine, and he's got these kids working really hard. They believe in him, and hopefully that'll take care of some of the injury factor. But quite honestly, I felt like our kids have been in shape. We've been, we just had some fluke stuff happen, and it's just the way it is. You know, as football, we just don't have a lot of people to fill in when that does happen.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for taking time to join us today. Good luck against Genoa Kingston, and we'll talk to you during the season, okay?
All right, I hope so. I hope to see you guys.
We've been talking with Rockford Lutheran head football coach Bruce Bazsali.